Guess what I'm playing? That's right. Stanley Parable, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Spacebar doesn't do anything. WASD moves. Oh. Oh, okay, we can interact with stuff. Doo-doo.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay, let's go over there. Nope.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Yeah, that's childish. Let's go this way. Nope.
When Stanley came to a set
How do we
of
get
two
to that
open
other room?
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wait,
This
that's
was not the correct way to the meeting
No.
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
No.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, employee lounge. I can do that. Fit it with every door. No. Okay, never mind. Wait. There's stuff on that board. How do I get to that? Do-do.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Yes,
It
just
had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
This is actually kind of cool. Do I want to go there? This is kind of cooler. That looks like a warehouse. We'll go this way. It's kind of... Does that light us? Probably.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
What if I press this? Maybe not. Hey, this is the room. Chips for not getting.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up
That's
to
kinda
his
cool.
boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Better safe than profits. Okay. Nope, nothing on this one. Trade inflation is bad inflation. Hey.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet,
Broom
but
closet.
there was nothing here, so
Yeah.
he turned around and got back on track.
He doesn't say anything again. That's annoying. Nice. Down.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Went down. Red light. Doesn't do anything. Oh. Hello. What's this? Random bit of paper. Do.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His
Yes,
boss would think he was
obviously.
crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to
He is
himself,
crazy.
maybe I am crazy.
Yeah.
All of my
Knew
coworkers
it.
being mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
All the doors are
And as
closed.
Stanley
to be
pondered
honest.
this, he began to make other strange observations. For
Yeah.
example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh,
Why did doors
shit.
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers were actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
We're just
So
getting in
he
corridors.
imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through
Meow.
space on a magical starfield, and it
Star-
too
oh.
appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing?
And calling me Stanley.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts.
This just keeps going.
And
It's
while
not
he
cool.
thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if
blinked.
he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did
Yep.
the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Wake
He
up.
felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my
Stanley
life
had a wife?
exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Yep.
I am okay.
But he's not. Ah! That's cool.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. And then he woke up. Did he wake up?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella? His wife?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh,
But on this
jeez.
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And though she
Poor
was soon
Stanley.
told to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I
Working
am
in a
sane.
place, pressing
I am
buttons.
in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Does she walk away?
And then she turned and ran.
Up you go.